Hello students, once again welcome to English Literature Classroom. Today my topic is Smart English. Okay, Smart English means the name of the book is Smart English. I am going to teach chapter 3 Bombay to Bangalore. Okay, come on, let's start. Okay, now this chapter is written by Sudha Murthy. Clear? Sudha Murthy. Come on, let's start line to line explanation. It was the beginning of summer. I was boarding the Udyan Express at Gulbarga railway station. Okay, I referred to the narrator. Now the narrator was boarding the Udyan Express at Gulbarga railway station. Okay, the name of the railway station is Gulbarga. My destination was Bangalore. Now, narrator's destination was Bangalore. While boarding, I saw that second-class reserved compartment was jam-packed with people. Now, while boarding, narrator saw that the second-class reserved compartment was jam-packed with people. I sat down and was pushed to the corner of the berth. Now, narrator sat down and was pushed to the corner of the berth. Though it was meant for 3 people, there are already 6 of us sitting in it. Though it was meant for 3 people, but there were 6 sitting on it. The ticket collector came in and started checking people's ticket. Okay, the ticket collector came in and started checking people's ticket, and he looked in my direction and asked, "What about your ticket?" Okay. The ticket collector looked at narrator's direction and asked about her ticket. And at that point of the time, the narrator told that, "I have already shown you my ticket," I said. "Not you, madam, the girl hiding under your berth." At that point of the time, the narrator told that, "Not your ticket, madam, but the girl who is hiding under your berth." "Hey, come out. Where is your ticket?" said the collector. Now, collector is telling the girl, "Come out, where is your ticket?" I realized that someone was sitting under my berth. Now the narrator realized that someone was sitting under the berth. Hearing the collector yelling at her, yelling means shouting, okay? The girl came out of hiding. The girl was hiding under the berth came out, okay? Now that girl was thin, dark, scared and looked like she had been crying profusely, okay? She must have been about 13 or 14 years age. Now, what was the girl's age? 13 or 14 years. She had uncombed hair and was dressed in a torn skirt. Now, that girl hair was uncombed, dressed was torn, okay? She was trembling and folded both her hands. The collector started forcibly pulling her out from the compartment. Suddenly, I had a strange feeling. I stood up and called out to the collector. Now, the narrator stood up and called to the collector. "Sir, I will pay her ticket," I said. Okay, narrator told the collector that she would pay her ticket, means that girl's ticket. Then he looked at me and said, "Madam, if you give her 10 rupees, she will be much happier with that than with the ticket." Now, the collector told narrator that if you give that girl 10 rupees, she would be much happier. I did not listen to him. I told the collector to give me a ticket to the last destination. Now, the narrator told the collector to give ticket to the last destination, that is Bangalore, so that the girl could get down wherever she wanted. Clear? Slowly she started talking about, okay? The girl now started talking about. She told me that her name was Chitra. Okay, that girl's name was Chitra. She lived in a village near Bidar. Okay, where did that girl live? In a village near Bidar. Her father was a coolie. Okay, that girl's father was a coolie and she had lost her mother at birth. Okay, she had lost her mother. Her father had remarried and had 2 sons, okay? Now her father had remarried and they are having 2 sons, okay? With her stepmother. A few months ago, her father had died. Few months ago, that girl's father died. Her stepmother started beating her often and did not give her enough food, okay? Stepmother started beating that girl and did not give her enough food. She was tired of that life. She did not have anybody to support her. So she left home in search of something better. Now that girl left home, okay? She hoped that something should get better. By this time, the train had reached Bangalore. I said goodbye to Chitra and got down from the train. Okay, my driver came and picked up my bag. I felt someone watching me. Now, the narrator felt that someone was watching her. When I turned back, I saw Chitra standing there. Okay, now she turned back and saw that Chitra was standing there looking at me with sad eyes, but there was nothing more that I could do. I had paid for a ticket out of compassion. Now narrator had paid for a ticket. Okay, but I never thought that she was going to be my responsibility. Now the narrator never thought that girl was going to be her responsibility. I told her to get into my car. Now narrator told the girl to get into a car. My driver looked at the girl curiously. I told him to take us to my friend Ram's place. Okay, now she told the driver to take to Ram's place. Ram ran separate shelter home for boys and girls. We at the Infosys Foundation supported him financially. I thought Chitra could stay here for some time and we could talk about her future after I came back from my tours. When I came back, I went to the shelter. Now, after coming back, narrator went to the shelter. I was not sure if Chitra would ever been there. Narrator was not sure whether Chitra was there or not, but But to my surprise, I saw Chitra looking much happier. Okay, and she found that Chitra looking much happier. Chitra was much happier over there. Ram suggested that Chitra could go to high school nearby. Now Ram suggested that Chitra would go to high school. I immediately agreed and said that I would sponsor her expenses as long as she continued to study. I left the shelter knowing that Chitra had found a home and a new direction in her life. Narrator was very happy that Chitra had found home, a direction in her life. Okay, I got busier and my visits to the shelter reduced to once a year. Now, narrator used to visit the shelter once a year, but I also inquired about Chitra's well-being over the phone. I knew that she was studying well and that her narrator knew that Chitra was studying well, okay, and her progress was also good. I offered to sponsor her college studies if she wanted to continue studies. Now, narrator told that she would sponsor that girl's college studies, but she told that no, I have talked to my friend and made up my mind. I would like to do my diploma in computer science. Now that girl Chitra told that she wanted to do diploma in computer science so that she can get immediately job after 3 years. She wanted to become economically independent as soon as possible. Chitra obtained her diploma with flying colors. Okay, Chitra got her degree with flying colors. She also got a job in software company as an assistant testing engineer. When she got her first salary, she came to my office. My office is narrator's office with a sari and a box of sweets. Okay, because it was her first salary. Okay, one day when I was in Delhi, I got a call from Chitra. Okay, she was very happy. Akka, my company is sending me to sending to USA. Okay, now that girl Chitra told narrator that she is being sent to USA. I wanted to meet you and take your blessing, but you are not here in Bangalore. And the girl wanted to take blessing from narrator. Years passed. Occasionally, I received an email from Chitra. She was doing very well in her career. Okay, Chitra was doing very well in her career. She was posted across several cities in the USA and was enjoying her life. I silently prayed that she should always be happy wherever she was. And narrator prayed to God that Chitra should always be happy wherever she was. Years later, I was invited to deliver a lecture in San Francisco for Kannada Kutta, an organization where families who speak Kannada meet and organize events. The lecture was in a convention hall of a hotel and I decided to stay at the same hotel. Okay, narrator decided to stay at the same hotel. After the lecture, I was planned to leave for the airport where I checked out of the hotel room and went to the reception counter. Okay, narrator went to the reception counter to pay the bill. Receptionist said, "Ma'am, you don't need to pay us anything." Okay, the receptionist told that, "Ma'am, you don't need to pay us anything. The lady over there has already settled your bill. She must know you pretty well." I turned around and found that Chitra standing there. Okay, narrator turned around and saw Chitra was standing there. She was standing with a young American man. Now, with whom was Chitra standing? With a young American man and wore a beautiful sari. Okay, and she wore a beautiful sari. She looked very pretty with short hair. Okay, her dark eyes were beaming with happiness and pride. As soon as she saw me means narrator, she gave me a brilliant smile, hugged me and touched my feet. I was overwhelmed with joy. Narrator was overwhelmed with joy and did not know what to say. I was very happy to see the way things had turned out for Chitra, but I came back to my original question. Now the narrator came back to her original question and asked Chitra that why did you pay my hotel bill? That's not right. Suddenly, sobbing, she hugged me and said, Chitra hugged narrator and said, "Because you paid for my ticket from Bombay to Bangalore." Okay, the chapter is completed. Now, students have to read this chapter again and again, and few questions I have given here. When you will go through this video, you will find. And write this question. Okay, don't forget to write this question in the copy. And in my next video, I am going to bring something new. Until then, goodbye.